chapter 18, verse 2. That's what we got up to. So again, what happened was we all assembled at Shiloh, except the tent of meeting there. Lena was subdued. Fine. Vayevatru b'vnei Israel, and they remained in Israel, amongst the children of Israel. Asher lo chalku et nachlatam, that had not yet received their inheritance. Shvatim, altogether was 7 tribes that did not. So the Metzudas David, just to kick it off, so he had a question. What does it mean that they weren't distributed, partial out yet? Why weren't they? He's asking the question. Why weren't they parceled out yet? Because it was not yet known as to the borders of the land as to how to apportion it with the lottery. That's how he's explaining that. Okay. So what happens? Vayomer Yehoshua el Bnei Israel. So Gimel 3. Joshua said to Bnei Israel, Ad ana atem mit rapim. Until when will you be lazy? Literally. Okay. When are you going to be lazy? Lavo l'reshet ha'aretz, to go and to inherit your land. Asher natan lachem, that was given to you, Hashem Elokei Avatechem, by Hashem, the Father, the God of your fathers. Any questions there? Yeah? No? Everything's good? Okay. Is it nice of them to say how long you can be lazy? So it says, the Metzudas David again kicks in and says, Rotshalim Ohen Yadati, behold, I know Machshvotechem, your thoughts. So I know your thoughts. Mash'enchem Sholchem Lichtov B'Gvulot Ha'aretz Nechilka, that which you did not send to write the borders of the land, and to parcel it up, ki techashvu im kain im kol echad chel kol pen yirpadu ish me'achav, because you think that if everybody recognizes his portion, lest they all split each man from each other, hey, v'lo yilachem ha'echad ba'avor ha'chelek ha'acher, and you think that one tribe will not fight on behalf of the other tribe. How long are you going to have weak hands? Hello, Hashem hu anotin lechem et haaretz. Behold, Hashem is the one that gives you the land. Im kain, af b'shalo yazor echad lechaver. Therefore, the Metzudas David is explaining. He says, even if nobody's helping you, tochlu lachem, you will be able to take over the land, because Hashem is fighting in your behalf. Do you understand what he's saying? He's saying, why is Joshua telling the people, why are you being lazy? Or, by the way, mitrapim, what's the shoresh of mitrapim? I mean, let's try to get this more, let's try to really understand where the language is coming from. Mitrapim, did anybody see the shoresh?
Midrash.
Sorry again?
Midrash?
No, the shoresh, the root of mitrapim.
Oh, I'm sorry. What verse are you on?
I'm on 3.
Okay.
I'm on 3, Gimel. So it says, Adanav atem mitrapim. And that's it, lazy. So what is mitrapim? What is a shoresh though? I'm going to help you guys. I don't know if we got this yet. So it's Reish Pei Hey, Rafa. Rafa means weak. Okay? It's also in the reflexive form, a hit palel form, present tense. Or what do we call it? We don't call it present tense. What do you call it?
Participle.
Participle. Okay, thank you. So it's really in that reflexive thing. So cause yourself to be weak. Well, I said lazy, fine. They're translating as slack. I don't know how our school translates it, but it's causing yourself to be weak-handed. That's what a weak as a word. That's why the Metzudas David says weak hands. Why are you allowing yourself to act like you're weakened? And the reason you're acting this way, he's saying, Josh was telling them, is because you believe that once you know exactly where your lands are, your brothers won't help you. Until now, everybody has been fighting. So the whole tribe, all 12 tribes, all 12 tribes are fighting together to get the land. We got the land. We parceled out some land. The rest of you in the middle of the country, where you still have to clear out some people, you think that if I tell you my land is Twickenham and your land is York, you're only going to fight for Twickenham and leave York alone, because you know that's not yours. And you think you need each other, but you don't. It's only Hashem you need. So take your land. Don't be weak-handed. Don't act like that you don't have power. You have power. Your power is God. But the reason he can say that is, the reason he can get that whole speech out is because of the term mitrapim. I'm trying to tell you what happened here. All from mitrapim. Because he could have said it a different way. He could have said, why aren't you going out to get the land? Why do you have to use that word mitrapim? So that's where the Metzudas David explains that's an important, that's what's making the whole speech here. Okay? So, good? Everybody's good with that?
So they're acting lazy, so they'll continue. Are you acting lazy because that you think you'll continue then to have the help of others? Whereas if you express your strength, you'll be on your own and be responsible for your own.
No,
isn't that?
No, he's saying you should be responsible on your own.
Yeah,
he's saying why are you acting? He's asking why you acting. Like I said, I translated lazy, but I think that's how you would probably do it. You make yourself weak, so you're acting like a lazy guy. So why are you doing that?
Yeah.
So he says, I know what you're thinking. I, Joshua, know what you guys are thinking. You're thinking that if I go out and if we know all the land, and we go out for that land, only my tribe is going to fight for that land, but the others won't help me. And if the others won't help me, I won't be able to take over my land. And he says that's false. Your logic is false. The only reason we got this far is because Hashem gave us the land. And so the same way, when you go out to conquer your land, even if your brothers don't go out to help you, Hashem is helping you. And Hashem is the only one who you have to worry about, basically. So go out and don't act weak. Don't be lazy about it. Okay.
So know where your true source of strength is.
Correct. That's what he's saying. So next verse, 4. But my point was to show you where they're getting that from. Okay, that all comes from one simple word, mitrapim. You have to know the shoresh. This is going to the, what Bill likes to do, go to the etymology of the word and understand what's going on there.
Could that also be considered a weakness in their trust in Hashem? Because they were promised that, there's a note here in 13:6,
okay,
that God promised Joshua that he would conquer the land if Joshua divided it. So not dividing it and setting up borders would delay the conquest. And they don't necessarily trust God to do what was promised.
No. Well, there's two things. One is that we have a rule. I cannot rely upon a miracle. I can't, it's called Ein Somchen Al Hanes. One cannot rely upon the miracle. So even though God tells me I'm going to get A, B, and C, I have to do something in order to get A, B, and C. I have what we call hishtadlut. I have to make my endeavor. So if I'm making up until now, when I've been making my endeavors, has been a unified approach. And as a unified approach, it lessened the need of a miracle, if you will. There was always miraculous. That's the point. No matter what, that's what Joshua's point is. No matter what we did, no matter how many numbers we had, it was always miraculous that we won. To this very day, it's miraculous when we win. But at the same time, we had a tremendous group to march. So now if I'm going to reduce that group, I'm increasing the necessity for a miracle. And God told me I can't rely upon a miracle. So am I throwing God under the bus, as it were, saying, look, I did my endeavor, I bought my ticket, if you will, and you didn't give me the lottery. So whose fault is it? It's yours, God, right? It's God's fault, because God said, I'm going to make you a rich man. And you didn't give me my money, if you will. So here I'm going to cause you to inherit the land. But that was with the understanding, from our understanding, that we all have to work together as a team. If we work together as a team, God will help us get the land. He'll really be the one. We're just the front. We're just out there, as it were, for window dressing. But once you take my people away, everybody stays where they are, and now you've reduced my groups, my troops. Maybe God won't do the miracle. Maybe I'm not meritorious enough for the miracle. So it's not so much I don't believe in God or I don't trust God. I do trust God. But I have to work within the rules that God laid down. So I believe I need all those people. Joshua's now telling me, no. You don't need all those people. You just need God. So I divide the land. God said, I'll give you the land. So consider it yours. Now go in and conquer it. Don't act weak. So it's not so much I don't trust God, it's I don't trust the system. And I don't know what the system wants anymore. So, like I said, you're changing rules. First we were all going, now we're not all going. And you're telling me go. But now you're giving me a bracha, you're telling me that I'm going to be able to go and God will give me the land? Fine. You understand? So it's not, I would be skeptical or weary to say that it was their lack of faith. I believe they believed in God, and I believe they trusted God implicitly. But again, we have to follow the rules. Okay, so here, Dalet. Havu lachem, so prepare or appoint for yourselves, shlosha anashim l'shavet. 3 men for each tribe. And v'eshlachem, and I will send them. That's a nice combination. The aleph at the beginning is the I, the mem at the end is they. I will send them. V'yakumu, this is not a vav conversive, and they will get up. V'yidhalchu, and they will go ba'arts in the land. V'yichtavu, ota lefi lenachlatam, and they will write it, the borders. They will write what they're doing according to their borders. Vayavo'u elai, and they will come to me. There you go. All the non-vav converses you could ask for.
Mm-hmm.
And
just a little point on the Hebrew here.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking out loud. You can tell, correct me if I'm wrong, that these are not vav conversives because of the vav sound under the vav.
Absolutely.
If these, it would be a patach if it were a vav conversive.
Correct.
Okay.
I'm going to ask you, Jim. I'm going to put you on the hot seat right now.
You're going to teach me never to come out with.
No, God
Okay,
forbid.
go ahead, go.
You did a beautiful job. So far, beautiful job.
Yeah.
What if it would, for a vav conversive of ve'esh lachem, what vowel would have to be there to make it a vav conversive?
I don't know which word.
Ve'esh lachem. And I will send them.
If it was a vav conversive.
What vowel would that have to be? Because it has an aleph.
Well, a patach.
No, it has to be a kametz. If it's an aleph, it has to have a kametz.
Oh.
If it would have a patach, it doesn't change it. Only for an aleph.
Is that's another little detail I'm trying to learn here.
Right.
The aleph, is that one of the guttural letters? Or
Silent.
it's one of the silent.
Right.
If it's a silent letter, for Vav conversing,
It has to be
preceding
a
it has to be a kametz, not a patach.
correct. If it's a patach or a shva, it doesn't change it.
All right, so that would apply to an aleph or an ayin,
No, only aleph. Only aleph.
but ayin is a silent.
I can have anything. It could have the
All
patach.
right, but you said silent.
I'm saying the aleph is on a
Go to
guttural.
the aleph, but the rule isn't.
The rule is only with an
not about
aleph.
silent letters because an ayin
No,
is a silent letter.
you asked me what's a guttural, so I said no, it's a silent. So I was just interested in the question, but I'm just saying that the ayin is not silent; it's really a guttural, but we don't know how to we don't pronounce it as
The
Ashkenazi.
ayin is not a silent. But
The ayin we don't pronounce it as
Okay, all right.
okay, but I'm just saying the aleph is interesting. The aleph is the only one that you need a comments onto that to make that a vav conversive. So just keep that in mind. Okay,
Another little rule to bedevil the student.
that's right.
To keep you on your toes.
Okay.
Okay, all right.
Okay, so that's what it is. So it says a point for yourself, point for yourselves, 3 men for each tribe. I will send them, they will get up, they will walk the land, and they will write it down, or describe it, if you will, for according to their according to their inheritance, and they will come to me. We're on Yud Chet Dalet, okay?
Okay.
So any questions here? I'm going to give you a hint. Rashi has 2 questions. Truth Davar only has 1, and Radak has none. Okay, good. Nobody? First question is, it says, I'm going to ask you, when it says 3 men to each tribe, which tribes? Yeah, all 12?
According to Rashi.
No,
7.
according to you.
I
According
would
to this,
initially think all 12.
all 12. So that's why Rashi has to say, we're not talking about 12 because 5 of them already have their land. We're going out to say, describe the land according to their portions. So from there, it can only be the 7, as Rashi is saying. Then what does it mean according to their portions? So Rashi says, Shiva Chalakim, to the 7 portions, v'lo b'shavet, they're not equal. El lefi shavatim ro'oyin lechalkam, l'rav lefi ruvo l'ma'at lefi muto, kamashin emal l'rav tar. So since they're not going to be equal, because the Torah in Devarim, in Numbers said you have to divide the land according to the numbers, according to the population. By the way, the population, according to the population. So that's how you're going to do it. So some people have more land, some people have less land. That's all. But that's why you have to do it, and they have to send it out to describe that land. That's Rashi's 2 questions. The Zuzdav was asking the same sort of question. Okay. Next one. Hey. V'hit chalku ota l'shiva chalakim, and they shall divide it into 7 portions. Yehuda Yamod al Guvulo mi Negev. So Yehuda is the tribe Yehuda, or the land of Yehuda, shall remain on his border on the south. Ubeit Yosef Yamdu al Gvula mitzafon, and the house of Yosef. Again, it says house of Yosef because it's Menashe Ephraim. It's 2 different tribes. Yamdu al Gvula mitzafon. They will stand on their borders from the north. So the southern and northern borders are defined already. Okay?
Is that pronunciation? I know I'm being detailed here in the Hebrew. The north. Pronounced, is that miafon or miaf?
Mitzah.
Mitzafon?
Right.
Or
Yes.
mitz?
No, Mitzafon. From the north.
Mitzafon. Okay, I got it.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Anything else? Okay. Mr. David just gives an explanation. He says to the 7 portions, he says like this: Ki ol the shiva, because more still for the 7 yanchilu they have to inherit the land. Ki Yehuda yamol den chol gevulo, because Yehuda is standing to inherit his portion from the south of Eretz Yisrael, and Beit Yosef is standing to inherit their portion from the north, from what was already conquered, and so what remains is the other 7. Fine. Ve'atem, and you, plural, you tichtavu al haaretz shivach alakem, you will write the land, you will describe again the land of the 7 portions. Ve'haveitem elan, you will bring them to me. Ehena, here, you're going to bring them here to me. V'yariti lachem goralpo, and I will cast lots for you here. Lifnei Hashem l'keinu, before Hashem your God. Any questions?
Well, we take it for granted that there would be a written deed because of the way we have in our own culture today. But why would he emphasize and then re-emphasize that it be in writing?
To describe the land?
Yes.
Okay. Anybody have an answer to that? I mean, because I know we talked about it before, so just curious so everybody remembers. The simple reason, very simple reason, is when people are given a gift, and this is what they're basically being given. They're giving a gift. So first I can just give you a gift and there's no problems there. But what happens when I have other people who are going to contest that gift? So there, everything has to be written down so I know exactly where the borders are, and there can be no question. One, I have to know for my own purposes of, like I said, the greater Eretz Yisrael, what are the specific laws for Israel, but also within Israel I have to know where my land starts and stops because of the gerrymandering, we call this, of the borders. Again, it's not clear. They're not clean borders. It's not like Iowa. If you look across the U.S., they're pretty clean borders. But when it comes to Israel, if you look at the maps, you have Yehuda up here. I mean, I'm in the north, so yeah. So Yehuda, but down low you have Manasseh, Ephraim. They're intertwined with each other. It's craziness. And then you also have the others who are really put in a crazy manner. That is not clear. It's not nice square borders that we like.
Rabbi,
So,
I was a little detail again, the Hebrew again.
Yeah.
You translated Eloheinu as your God.
I'm sorry, our God.
Our.
Yeah.
That'd be an interesting question if it was your God, or what
Right.
difference.
That was my mistake.
Okay.
Yeah. That's the problem when I'm reading and I'm making up my own. Sometimes it happens when you read, you have your own understanding of what it should be, because he said your God above.
The only reason I'm bringing it up is because I think there'd be a big difference in the meaning if somebody says your God or our God. It has a whole different flavor to
Right.
it. Yeah.
So, but above, he was saying your Father. So that's why I was going with that. I was just, in my mind, it was just hitting that, but 100% I was wrong. Okay. So it says, now who's the you again in the sentence? You will write down the borders. So you will describe the borders of the land. So that again is the shluchim, the messengers that are going on the way. All of you guys, by the way, this is also interesting. All of you have to write down the borders. You're all describing it. Because if one person would have described it, potentially, if one person would have described it, then there could also be an argument as to what's going on. So here, everybody has to agree on what they're seeing, and they're all writing it down. So that's also important. Then he's going to do a goral. Why is he doing the goral again? Why is he doing a lottery again?
Well, it's a miraculous lottery that
Correct.
The is called out for each Shevet.
Good.
So that determines that also, I guess, would help to prevent any disputes.
Correct. Good.
Anything.
Exactly what I'm looking for. Yep. It stops all the disputes. because God's saying it. So that's the end of it. Okay, so now verse 7. Ki ein chelek la Leviyim b'kirachem. Because or that there is no portion for the Leviyim, for the Levites in your, it is your plural, your midst, ki chehunat Hashem nachlato, because the priesthood of Hashem is Levi's inheritance, his inheritance. V'Gad u'Reuven v'chatzi sheva Menashe, and God, the tribes of Gad, Reuven, and half the tribe of Menashe, lakachu nachlatam, they've taken their portion, me'evet li'Yarden mizracha, from the other side of the Jordan on the east. Asher natan lahem Moshe, that was given to them, Moshe Eved Hashem, by Moshe, the servant of Hashem. Any question there? No. Okay. Well, Meshuvas David has a question. He's saying, why do we have to hear again that the Leviyim didn't have a portion? Why do we have to hear that? We're talking about land apportionment. We've been told on many occasions, all the way through, from Bamidbar on, that the Leviyim aren't going to get land. So here he tells them, go out 7 of you guys from the 7 remaining tribes, write for yourself borders, describe the land, of the borders, and I will do a lottery. Then suddenly, mitten rennen, right in the middle of this, we have to hear, and the Leviyim have no portion. I already knew that. So the question is, why do you have to say it again? That's Meshuvas David's question.
He's emphasizing that like it says, the service of Hashem is your inheritance.
Right.
That's your inheritance, not the land. The land, are they especially, righteous, or why would they not get any physical inheritance? Just the service of God is their inheritance.
Correct.
Are they some kind of special
Yes.
tribe?
Yes. Leviyim are a special tribe because they're the priests of God. So as a result, you don't get a portion of land, because if you were going to be working your land, you wouldn't have time to come to the temple and do your job. It's a job you really have to do. So as a result, you don't get land per se. What they will inherit, well, not inherit, but what they will be living in is the cities of refuge and those places. So they're going to get 42 cities altogether amongst Bnei Yisrael. But because of their status as priests and teachers, they do not get land. That's what the Torah said a long time ago. Here we're hearing it again, so the Meshuvas David explains, Yivare Od. We have to explain again. He has to explain again. Lama Shiva Achalakim. Why you have 7 portions. Because there's no portion to the Leviyim. Gad and Reuven and Chatzi Menashe already took their portions. V'lo Yehuda lebeit Yosef Chalak. And Yehuda and Menashe and Ephraim also have their portions. So they have 7. There remain 7 tribes. And so Kahunat Hashem haro'ay lahem lakachet chelef avodat Kahunatcham. And since they're the they do the service of Hashem, they're the priests of Hashem, so it would be fitting for them to take something in exchange for their worship, for their work. It would be fitting for them to do something like that, and yet they don't get land either. Okay, so but he's really saying, why do we only have 7 left? By the way, why did he have to tell us about Levi at all? There's something very important to realize. There's something that's very important, and because it said Beit Yosef, it keeps going to Beit Yosef. It doesn't say Menashe Ephraim. It says Beit Yosef, because you can only have 12. In the count of tribes, you can only have 12. You never have 13. Never. So if tribe Ephraim and Menashe are split, then Levi is not considered anything. It's not considered part of the deal. When, on the other hand, I have Beit Yosef, I combine everybody together. So now the question comes up, what happened? I should really have Levi involved in this, because that's 13, that's 12 again. And that's why we have to come out again to say because they're serving Hashem, that's why they're not included. That's another thing we have to say. Okay?
Just a clarification.
Yeah.
Menashe is split, right? They're one of the 7, but they're also part of their tribe has already received a portion.
No, they already received a portion on both sides. Menashe and Ephraim, this Beit Yosef, is in the northern kingdom. They're in the north. So they have already received everything. So Menashe is all split. That's the point. Menashe, Ephraim, Gad, Reuven, and Yehuda have already taken their places.
Okay.
So now I only have 7 left, right? But the problem is, what I said was Beit Yosef.
Right.
So since I put Beit Yosef, so that puts Menashe and Ephraim together. So then who's 7? Who's the 7? That's why, again, they're emphasizing. So it's interesting. They're emphasizing that the Levi does not get a portion. Because you would have thought Levi should get a portion.
Okay.
Okay?
Why does it say part of Menashe in verse 7?
On the east. It says part on the east side of the Jordan. No, they're in Sichon old country. They're in Moab. I guess that's what it would be called today. Today. No, actually, I don't. It's what's it called today? Transjordan, I guess.
Right.
They're on that side of the Jordan. So they inherited it because that's what they wanted from Moses, right? They said, give us this land, this great pasture land, so we'll stay here. And Moses said, good, as long as you go and fight. So that's why half the tribe is there, but half the tribe is on the other half of Menashe is with Ephraim in the hill country. They went and they said, we want more country, land, and Joshua said, conquer the people, you have plenty of land. Clear out the trees, clear out the country, clear everything out, you have plenty of land here. Okay. So, Vayakumu ha'anashim vayalechu. So the men got up and they went. Again, now we have Vav conversions. Vayakumu vayalechu. Vayitzav Yeshua et ha'hochem. And Joshua commanded the ones who were going, Lichtov et ha'arsh, to describe the land. Lemor, saying, Lechu, go, v'hidhalchu. By the way, Lechu is command form. Lechu v'hidhalchu ba'aretz, go and walk through the land. V'chitvu, again command form. V'chitvu ota, and describe it. V'shuvu elai, another command form, and return to me. Ufo ashlichachem gor alifnei Hashem bishilo, and I will cast lots for you before Hashem in Shiloh. Why do you have to do it in Shiloh? Anybody?
That's where they set up the altar?
That's where they set up the tent, right? Good. Tent of meeting, the oil moed. So that's what they set up. That's why he's saying, come back to the shul. We'll sell everything in the shul. Shul politics. Okay.
Just a grammatical note.
Yeah.
That Lemor.
Yeah. Which one? At the beginning? At the beginning, yeah.
Lemor, that we just had that infinitive to
Right.
indicate a quotation.
Uh-huh. Yeah, there you go. And see, and that's why it goes to the Lechu command form.
Command form because it's a quotation in the command.
And vihid halchu, and go through. It's all future, because he's saying do this. So it's no longer past. So yeah, that's what I'm saying. When you see the grammar and you feel the grammar and you're sensitive to it, you see, oh, this is what's going on. It's very nice. It's going from past to this is what he said. Now I'm speaking. And if somebody reads it incorrectly, they've changed the text and the meaning of what's going on.
That word, Vahidhalchu.
Vihid halchu, yeah.
Vahidhalchu. Okay, I'm looking at the grammar of that. That's a Vav conversive?
No, that's not.
Not.
That's not. That's that. Oh, I'm sorry. It is. It's above.
Yeah,
No, it is. It is because the Vihid halchu is in the
yeah,
past.
It's Yeah, because it's a command, you will go, but the actual word is in the perfect because you got the vav conversive.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yep.
You will go, but you, I know I'm getting detail here, but you will go, if it's a you plural, should begin with a T.
No, because
Ah,
if it did, then you have to have a va, right?
oh, this
This
is
is in the past.
It's a perfect, no,
It's a
the
perfect.
perfect with the vav conversive makes it the imperfect. Okay, it's a perfect, okay, never
Okay,
mind.
there you go.
Okay, I went one step too far.
Right.
Okay,
Okay, it's good. It's good.
all right.
Okay, tet. So vayelchu ha'anashim vayavru ba'aretz. So the men went. By the way, I did not translate and the men went because it's a vav conversive. So the men went. Now you have to use the vav conversive and translate it as an and because it's conjunctive. And they crossed over through the land, or they passed through the land. Va'ichtavua, and they described it, the arim, to the cities, the shiva chalakim al sefer, for the 7 portions on a book. Vayavo'u el Yoshua, and they came to Yoshua elamach anashila, to the camp at Shiloh. Okay, any questions there?
And one more time on the vav conversive construct. Is it proper to say, going back to that one, and you shall transverse, is it proper to call that construct with the vav conversive? Is it proper to call that an imperfect or a perfect construct? Do you go by the shorsh or you go by what it actually is when you put the vav conversive with it? Which would be, it's imperfect, you will transverse. But I think in the book, the textbook, they would call that a perfect with a vav conversive, which is correct. Which is correct.
It's certainly passed, so it would be perfect. In other words,
it would be perfect with a vav conversive. Okay,
right.
That's what I thought. Thank you.
Right.
Okay.
Right. Okay, so again, the men went and they crossed through the land and they wrote it for the cities, 7 portions on a book. That's literally what it means. And they came to Joshua to the camp in Shiloh. Any questions? What does it mean they described it to the cities, for the cities? I'll ask you the question.
According to the cities.
Yeah, that's what it says. They described it according to the cities. So what does that mean? So the Meshudas David says, according to the size, the expanse or the size of the cities of a big city versus the 2 small cities. In other words, they would describe, that's what it means to the cities. That was their way of saying, here's how we describe in the land. In other words, just to describe the geography wasn't good enough. Now I have to describe what the cities look like too. The great cities versus the small cities. That's what they're picking on. Okay, and we will have to stop at, so we're on chapter 18, verse 10. Yeah.
So that would imply, I think, that they would make treaties with the people in those cities.
No, there's no treaties here. What they're going to do is they're going to describe the land. Remember, he's told them, describe the land, come back, we'll have a lottery, that'll be your portion, go out and conquer. You're conquering. If they want to make treaties, they're entitled to make treaties, as long as they want to live by the 7 Noahide laws and so on and so forth. All the normal things would apply. But if you, but at this point, if they don't, go out and defeat them.
So cities the size of the city would be the landmass, not the population, or a combination.
No, it would be landmass, not population. But what you're doing is describing how the cities look. So once you do that, now again it goes into the lottery system, and the lottery, the way that we inherited the land was by our population. There's two equations here. One was the brothers the people who left Egypt. So whoever left Egypt, let's say the family had 4 brothers. This father had 4 brothers, so it would be split into 4 parts. 4 equal parts. So now, 4 portions. So within that family structure, now I have a second thing to say who gets the most land. So it's really a 2-part lottery system, but that's what we're dealing with here. So when it says a lot of people get to the big population goes to big places, to small population goes to small places. Well, that's how they're doing it per family, but not per tribe.
Okay.
Okay.